My best friend, let's call her Chloe, shattered that belief in the most humiliating way possible. We'd been inseparable since high school, the kind of duo people described as attached at the hip. But once we hit our 20s and started building lives outside of school, Chloe decided she wanted shinier toys, namely a new friend group that looked like an Instagram influencer lineup. She betrayed me to get in with them, and she thought I'd just fade into the background quietly. She had no idea who she was dealing with. It started when she began hanging out with this new crowd from her job. They were glamorous, loud, and carried the kind of it girl energy Chloe always secretly envied. At first, I was happy she had new people. I even tagged along a few times, but the vibe was obvious. They weren't into me. I wasn't flashy enough, didn't care about designer brands, didn't laugh at their cruel jokes about other people. I thought Chloe and I were unshakable, so I ignored the tension. That was mistake number one. The distance grew fast. Suddenly, Chloe was too busy for our usual coffee runs, canceling plans last minute with excuses that never added up. I'd see her post on Instagram, smiling with her new squad at clubs, dinners, rooftop parties. I confronted her once, and she gave me the fakest apology I've ever heard. You know I love you, but I'm just in a different phase right now. Translation, you're not cool enough anymore. The knife twisted deeper when she completely ghosted me on my birthday, claiming she was sick, only for me to see her tagged in a post at a rooftop bar with them that very night. That was the moment the switch flipped. Revenge wasn't immediate. I wanted her to think she had won, that I was sulking and powerless while she sparkled with her new friends. Meanwhile, I started observing. Her new group wasn't as solid as they looked. There were fractures, jealousies, whispered arguments, a constant competition for attention. Among them was Mia, one of the quieter girls who often looked uncomfortable. We ended up chatting once at a coffee shop when she recognized me as Chloe's old friend. What she said next became my weapon. They talk about each other constantly. Chloe's already been spilling things about you to them. That stung, but it also lit the fuse. If Chloe wanted to play games with loyalty, I was going to play better. I got close to Mia over the next few weeks, and through her, I learned everything. The secrets, the petty fights, the cracks Chloe was smoothing over to keep her place at the table. And because karma loves an accomplice, it turned out Chloe had been gossiping not only about me, but about them. Every single one of them. She trashed one girl's breakup, mocked another's weight gain, laughed about how desperate Mia was. All to secure her position. She thought none of it would come back to bite her. I carefully collected receipts, screenshots Mia sent me, old texts Chloe had sent me where she mocked these girls before she befriended them, even voice notes where she ranted about how shallow they were. I didn't blast it right away. I waited for the perfect moment. That moment came when Chloe hosted a birthday dinner for herself with her new group. She hadn't invited me, of course, but Mia did. If you're going to do it, that's the night, she said. The restaurant was high-end, full of glass walls and velvet booths. Chloe looked radiant in her designer dress, holding court like she was queen of the world. They were laughing, clinking glasses, living the life she'd thrown me away for. And then I walked in. The air shifted instantly. Chloe's face froze when she saw me, but before she could speak, I smiled sweetly and slid into an empty chair. Relax, I said. I brought a gift. I pulled out a small envelope and placed it in the center of the table. Inside were neatly printed sheets. Chloe's words, Chloe's secrets, Chloe's betrayals. Each page dedicated to what she had said about each of them. I didn't even need to read them aloud. They reached for the papers themselves. And the silence that followed was electric. One by one, their faces changed. shock, anger, disgust. Chloe tried to defend herself, stuttering excuses, but the damage was done. The group she had clawed her way into suddenly looked at her like she was a stranger. One of the girls actually got up and threw her drink in Chloe's direction before storming out. I didn't need to stay. I stood, tucked my chair back in, and whispered to Chloe, "You traded me for them, and now you have no one." Then I left. The fallout was brutal. Within a week, Chloe's Instagram went from full of tag posts and glamorous stories to radio silence. The group iced her out completely. Word spread at her job, too. Apparently, one of the girls worked with her and made sure the gossip traveled. She went from being the social butterfly to sitting alone at lunch. Meanwhile, I flourished. I kept building my friendship with Mia, who turned out to be genuine when she broke free from the toxicity. I reconnected with other old friends, people who value loyalty over clout. My life filled with laughter again, the kind that doesn't come from being cruel or competitive. Chloe, on the other hand, tried to crawl back into my life, sending long messages about how she messed up and how she missed us. But the thing about betrayal is that it's a bell you can't unring. Once you show me that friendship is disposable to you, you're the disposable one. The final twist came months later when Chloe showed up at a party where I was with Mia and some others. She looked smaller somehow, like the world had shrunk around her. She pulled me aside and begged me for another chance, tears streaming down her face. I looked at her and for a moment felt that pang of nostalgia for the girl who used to be my other half. But then I remembered my birthday, the lies, the whispers, the way she tossed me away like I was nothing. So I told her, "You wanted to be one of them. Now you're just no one. And I'm fine with that." Then I walked back to my new circle, leaving her standing there alone.